Hello, my name is Danny Nowlan and I'm the Director of ChassisSim Technologies. Today in this video tutorial I want to cover with you the new versions that we've got in ChassisSim version 3.22. Now, ChassisSim version 3.22 has some minor refinements over version 3.21, but also too it's got some really cool and exciting new features that have been added that really give ChassisSim some functionality. So, without further ado, let's get started. First thing that I want to talk to you about of what's new in ChassisSim version 3.22 is our bump profile modeling. Now, pretty much on the surface, it looks exactly the same way as what it did in version 3.21. It has exactly the same functionality. What we've done though is under the surface is that you'll notice in version 3.21 we clicked here to allow the auto bump scaling, that it allowed you really to drill down in terms of what the bump profiling is doing. One of the things we've done in version 3.22 is we've just done some minor changes to the algorithm to make that more robust so that ChassisSim doesn't greatly overestimate the bumps. What that means in practice is that combined with the new Apex corner distance algorithm, you shouldn't have to screw too much with bump scale factor. So I just thought I'd give you the heads up on that. The other thing that we've added, oh, and the other thing too, before I forget, is with allowing the auto bump scaling features, just with some feedback we've been getting from the ChassisSim community. As a rough rule of thumb, I would kick off with maximum number of bump scale iterations is about 3. We've been finding that to be a good happy medium. Also, too, make sure that when you're using the bump scaling feature, you make sure that you import your monster import file and make sure you've got the sign of your lateral acceleration correct. The other thing that we've done with ChassisSim version 3.22 is if you go to circuit data, you now have the option to specify gear ratios as a function of distance. Now, the way that that works is that it's simply an ASCII file where you specify, and you can specify up to 100 different sectors. So what you can do is that you specify a start distance, an end distance, and a gear to look like. To show you what that actually looks like, if we go into the ChassisSim help and we go into our entering our circuit properties, and we go down here, this is pretty much an example of what the file looks like. So we've got 2 sectors here. We've got the distance start in meters, the distance end in meters, and the gear ratio number. So that is a really that's a real compliment to specifying gear ratios as a function of corner number. You can also specify this by distance as well. And our initial testing has shown that's actually proven to be a very positive thing. The other new features in ChassisSim version 3.22 is we've added a lot of extra features to both the aero model and the engine model. Let me discuss what's in the aero model. You'll notice that you now have the option to correct aero as a function of speed, and we've also implemented correcting aero as a function of steer. Now, the way that works is actually really simple. Is that with the speed correction, the way that it works is that you obviously specify a speed range that you're after, and you specify the downforce as a percentage correction. So in this case, what I've just done is I've just fixed it to 100%, and to enable the correction, you just click on the enable the correction map. Now, what that does is it basically multiplies downforce and drag by a percentage, and in terms of aero balance, it basically offsets it by a percentage as a function of speed or steer. As always, the steer calibration is going to be a function of steered angle at the tire as opposed to the steering wheel. So I really want to ram that point home. The other things that we've added for ChassisSim version 3.22 is advanced engine properties And we've also added advanced curves properties. Let me go through the advanced engine properties quickly. You can now correct engine torque for ram air effect. You also have the option of using a 3D engine torque map. And you can also monitor things like fuel consumption and pardon me, and also correcting for various other effects. Now, I'll be talking more about these in the next couple of weeks because there have been some organisations that I've been working with that have been using this quite a bit. But I'm not going to steal my thunder right at this moment. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that when the time is appropriate. I will add, however, that these are advanced features. So if in doubt, keep on using the standard keep on using the standard engine features. But if you need to explore this, the capability is now there. The other thing too is for those of you playing around with KERS is that we've now got the ability to model all-wheel drive KERS, plus some very advanced KERS features such as functions adjusting power delivery as a function of RPM and throttle. Plus, you can also you can also fine-tune what the KERS power delivery is going to be as a function of distance. As I said, I will be discussing this at a more appropriate more appropriate detail when when the time is right. So don't take my word for it. For those of you who are currently in the ChassisSim community, you should have received an email notifying you of the version 3.22 release. For those of you who aren't in the ChassisSim community, I'd encourage you look at look at our website, start playing with the professional online simulation, or if you're a race team, request a demo and find out for yourself just what a powerful tool ChassisSim version 3.22 can be.